I took a fall trip to go to Bandera, which is one of my favorite places on earth, and I get there as often as I can. I stayed a few days at a boondocker's welcome site about 25 minutes away, but the last day I wanted to move into Bandera, and I went to Pioneer RV River Resort, since it's walking distance to most everything in the main part of town. I love the office here. There's always lush plants growing and Old Glory is always present. There's a few necessary items inside and RV supplies if you forgot something or if something breaks. If you arrive outside of the office hours, a packet will be ready for you just outside the door. Sites on the upper level of the park are pull-through sites, and there's a cabin, the caboose here, that you can actually rent out. The site pads are gravel and mostly pretty level, and you can see down to the Medina River from this side. There's wooden picnic tables at each of the sites. All of the sites in this area have water, 20, 30, and 50 amp electrical and sewer connections, and these upper pull-through sites also have cable. As you can see from this picture, the sites are very close together, especially when you both have slides going toward each other. This site was number 61, and the power pole was pretty close to the very entrance of the site, and so I had to pull up close enough so I could have all of my utilities connect, and I unhooked the truck and had to come around from behind. Unless it's a big event weekend like Mardi Gras, most of the sites down here on this lower level are not always rented out, and all the odd sites have gravel pads, and so they usually just rent out like every other one. So if you want a back-end site, these usually have a little bit more room to them. But as a note, this lower level does flood on occasion, especially if there's been a lot of heavy rains. And for some reason, it seems to be that way a lot of times right around Memorial Day weekend, so you might keep that in mind when you're making your reservations. Off to the far right, you can see a little fenced area, and that's so that you can have your dogs and you can have them off leash in that area. I usually go down to the river every time I go in town, and it's like therapy for me, so I just love to listen to it trickle through. I love the rivers in the hill country. From this park, you can walk over under the highway and continue walking along through the river through City Park. And looking at the park from the river, you can see more of the dog park area here toward the left side. And there are actually some cabins that you can rent out as well, in addition to the caboose that you saw earlier. There's another building that has the restrooms and showers, and there's also a big meeting or event room. And this park actually plans a lot of activities, so you can look on their website or their social media and see the events that are coming up for the times that you might have to be able to come out. And just outside, there's also a pool for the warmer days. It's a nice place to go relax. In front of the caboose, there was a rock flower bed, and it had quite a few painted rocks. And you can take one or you can leave some if you have your own. Just, make sure you leave some for the next guy. When I'm in town, I like to look at different things. So this time I actually went to the Frontier Times Museum, and they have a lot of Bandera specific items and things, just for this area, like the cabaret sign, which was an iconic dance hall that was around for a long time. They also have natural history exhibits, different animals and different bones. Like these particular bones came from College Station, which is near my home. And every time I go to Bandera, I have to go downstairs to Arkey Blue's Silver Dollar. It's the honky tonk downstairs, and it is just under the general store. And if you're on the main street, just look for the red door. It gets really packed on big event weekends, but I personally like it when it's kind of quiet, especially on Sunday afternoons when they just have the jam sessions. The guys will sit around and play, and just look at that real sawdust on the floor. That is a honky tonk. And when the jam sessions are not going on and when the bands are not playing, usually around the main table, somebody's going to have a guitar or something, and they'll be playing and they'll be singing and just carrying on conversations in between. And if you go in the evening or mostly at night, you can find the man himself just hanging out, enjoying the music and the conversation. And before I leave, I always have to go down to the river to say goodbye. I like to take my walk, take my coffee, just go say goodbye. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button and click the little bell so you'll get a notification whenever I post new videos. As always, happy travels, y'all.